This week, Incredibles 2, Child-Sized Robots, and Vegetable Concrete.
All on Geek This Week. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Geek This Week. I'm X.
I'm Max.
And we got a lot to go over. We're just going to rapid fire it. This week in gaming, many players attempting to play the newly released Fortnite for the Switch have met an unfortunate error screen. The screen states the Fortnite account is associated with a platform which does not allow it to operate on the Switch, and goes on to state that nobody can change it, even going so far as to suggest the creation of a new account. The culprit is, surprisingly, Sony and the PS4's crossplay restrictions. Without consent, anybody logging into Fortnite on their PS4 locks that account out of being able to play on any other home console, allowing only mobile and PC to use that same account. This is quite an unfortunate, but possibly intended side effect of Sony's views on crossplay. Here's just hoping they change it in the future.
In better news, though not for your wallet, the Steam Summer Sale has started. Many of our favorite games are on sale, including Undertale for $5, Crypt of the Necrodancer for $3, Planet Coaster for $20, and Ark Survival Evolved for $20. Also of note, Cuphead is on sale for $16, Prey is $15, and Tom Clancy's The Division is currently on sale for $10. So be sure to stock up on the prequels and base games from some of the exciting titles announced during E3. These sales are notorious for sucking up all the money in your wallet, so don't dig yourself too deep of a hole before July 5th.
The newest batch of updates have begun playtesting for the popular AR mobile game Pokemon Go. The biggest of the updates is that Niantic has finally started gradually rolling out trading, and the feature is currently available to those trainers who are at least level 40. Niantic has confirmed that this cap is temporary as they test the limitations of their system. In related news, they've also released the Friend system, which is the exact system that allows you to trade in the first place. We've also gotten a first look at the new movesets for Alolan forms soon coming to Pokemon Go, including Marowak, Golem, Dugtrio, and Raichu. We're excited to see Niantic finally releasing trading, but they still promised us battles, so we're waiting for those too.
A new development in the PUBG vs Fortnite battle has led PUBG to release their own event pass. The pass, which was released alongside with new Sandhoek map, was meant to compete with Fortnite's ever-popular Battle Pass. The pass lets you pay $10 for access to event-specific missions, levels, and of course, cosmetic items, which is actually fairly similar to what Fortnite has going. What's got people really worked up, however, is that PUBG's event pass only lasts for 30 days and only allows for 30 unlockable tiers as opposed to the 10 weeks and 100 tiers you get from Fortnite's pass. Many have also complained that the cosmetics that come with PUBG's pass are far less interesting than anything you could get from Fortnite. At this rate, this whole Battle Royale fiasco will end up leading to World War III.
This week in movies, it has been confirmed that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 takes place after the events of Avengers Infinity War, and Twitter is having a heyday. Spoiler warning for Infinity War here. The weirdest bit of this confirmation is the same as the confirmation that Spider-Man is getting a sequel. How can the movie even happen after we saw all of the Guardians except for Rocket turn to dust during the finale of Infinity War? These confirmations are always risky business, but if fan theories are correct, only a few Infinity War deaths will be permanent. However, several Twitter users posted GIFs and videos of a lone raccoon going on an adventure in a reminder to director James Gunn that Rocket is the only one to have survived Thanos' snap. Whatever the case may be, it'll be exciting to see how the actions of the Mad Titan affect the Guardians world.
Incredibles 2 released over Father's Day weekend and opened up with a stunning box office success. In fact, the film has set the record for the biggest opening weekend for an animated film ever. The film's success may be due to the fatherly influences presented throughout the film, which is the exact reason it opened at that weekend. But it also may be due, in part, to the fact that the last major fully animated movie released for children dropped over 7 months prior, with Pixar's Coco. Though, we have to admit, it's probably just the nostalgia. According to Forbes, the film opened to $183.2 million that weekend, which tops the previous record holder, DreamWorks' Shrek III, even after accounting for inflation. We're excited to see Pixar doing so well, and we're excited to see what they're going to bring next.
Disney is continuing the bid to bring Fox's part of the Marvel Universe into the MCU. This deal would bring all of Fox's IPs, including the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool, into the possession of Disney, which would certainly make for some great new films, but definitely not without a hefty cost. Their current bid is sitting at $71.3 billion from Disney. That's with a B, which is significantly more than anyone else on the table at the moment, a table which includes other big names like Comcast. If Fox decides to sell and Disney does win the bid, they would not only get the rights to these other Marvel characters, but other IPs like The Simpsons, Alien, Predator, and even Avatar. No, not the Airbender. The bidding isn't over yet, and Comcast supposedly has another bid on the table, so time will only tell what happens to these characters.
This week in tech, China has been building new child-sized robots to help their children learn and develop skills as they grow. The robot, named iPal, is supposedly capable of teaching math, reading, and telling jokes, all from the screen on its chest. A slightly more creepy feature allows parents to sync iPal with their smart devices to both hear and see everything the robot sees through the camera in its eyes. Though the robot was initially designed as a learning and development tool, testing has also shown that it helps satisfy the need for socialization and interaction for children, adults, and senior citizens alike. The base model is apparently set to be sold starting at about $2,000. With other special versions costing as much as $10,000. We're just one step closer to the robot revolution.
The popularity of Marvel's Black Panther has inspired more than a few fans. Apparently, award-winning artist Akon has voiced plans to build his own city in Senegal, based entirely around a new cryptocurrency which he wants to call AKoin. Though it may seem a bit outlandish, he does seem to have thought it through though, claiming that the app-based system of cryptocurrency could potentially allow people to utilize it in ways where they can advance themselves and not allow the government to do those things that are keeping them down. With an already oversaturated cryptocurrency market, it is difficult to envision the project being terribly successful. But let's be honest, who wouldn't want to live in a place called Akon Crypto City? It legitimately sounds like something straight out of a video game.
This week in science, Lancaster University has found a way to incorporate beets and carrots into high-grade concrete. Unfortunately, it is a bit more complicated than just throwing some vegetables into a blender. Instead, it requires the extraction of cellulose, which is arranged into sheets and infused into concrete, which gives it incredible durability. On a small scale, it may not seem to have much of a huge impact, but when compared to how much cement is used around the globe on an annual basis, it is estimated to help reduce the amount of concrete needed around the globe by 10%, which would, in turn, help the environment. It's a shame they just can't use something less popular like Brussels sprouts instead.
Scientists are working on a material that manipulates light around it? Is this sci-fi? It may not sound terribly interesting until you realize that this light manipulation would allow the material to mimic its surroundings, giving an air of utter transparency. Put more simply, the material would essentially allow whatever it covered to become invisible. That's right, folks. Here in a few years, we may be the proud owners of our own invisibility cloaks. I'm not a muggle anymore. The science behind the material is really only in experimental stages, but if utilized correctly, it could even be used to create solar panels that are far more efficient than they are now. Whether or not it becomes mainstream, they've definitely done J.K. Rowling proud. And that's all we have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, click that little notification bell down there, and let us know if we missed anything interesting this week. Either way, we'll catch you geeks
Next week.